I'm Jenny Kahn. I'm an archaeologist at the Bishop Museum. I'm standing in front of the Hale Pili, a traditional grass house, which is exhibited here in Hawaiian Hall at the Bishop Museum. The house is an example of the folk architecture that was used in Hawaii prior to European contact. So the traditional style of Hawaiian sleeping houses were made from pole and thatch structure, and this gives us a great example of what a traditional Hale Pili would have looked like. What we did for our archaeological project was we wanted to look at when the Hale Pili had been lived in, when it was first constructed, and what types of activities took place in and around the house, and what type of Hawaiian family lived there. Because when the museum took the house from Miloli'i on Kauai, we just have a historic photo documenting what the house looked like on the landscape, but we have no information about when the house was lived in or what types of people lived there. So we mapped the site and we did some test excavations, and we were able to find the remains of 3 house posts along this edge here, all in alignment, and they were of the same shape and size as the posts that are in the Hale Pili site. And then down on this front terrace, we found the remains of cooking activities, places where they were cooking animal bones, tool production, and rituals that they did when they were building the house site. So right where I'm standing, we dated some charcoal that we found underneath this wall here, and the house site dates to about 1800. One of the most interesting things was in the corner of the house, so in the corner of the stone platform in front of the house, we found a little pit that had a juvenile pig burial. So the pig skeleton was not burned, it wasn't food remains, but it was placed there underneath the terrace of the house. We think this was an offering that was placed at the time that the house was constructed, and that it was a traditional Hawaiian way of ensuring that the residents of the house would have a good stay, would have a good life in the house. So that was really an exciting find. We also found 2 earth ovens in front of the house. We were able to take charcoal from the earth ovens that we could date using radiocarbon dating, and they gave us a date of about 1800, which shows that the house was first inhabited right around the early historic period, so just after European contact. And this meshed well with what we found in the excavations. So we found both traditional Hawaiian artifacts like fish hooks, octopus lures, volcanic glass scrapers, poi pounders, so the types of artifacts you would find in a domestic site. We also found some historic artifacts, things dating to the early historic period, so a ceramic button, a button made out of bone. We also found a little bit of bottle glass, a little bit of slate. Slate was introduced by the missionaries to use for little chalkboards in their teaching. And we also found a few ceramics, so some pottery that was introduced in the historic period. So the archaeological data does show that the house was lived in for about 100 years before it was removed from Miloli'i Valley, and that was a really exciting find.